watching SKST Radio.
Well, welcome to another episode of SKST Radio, Small Business Network, and I am here with a new friend. She goes by the name of Michelle Wetzel. Michelle, welcome to the show!
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like I've been waiting forever to talk to you, girl.
I know.
So tell
I've been
people
waiting to talk to you.
Huh?
I've been waiting to talk to you.
I know, right? So tell people who you are and what you do.
So I've worked in the nonprofit arena for decades, and I have led a few statewide nonprofits. I've started a few for helping other people and for something I was working on. And I've even had to dissolve a couple that had outlived their useful life. So I interviewed 60 plus nonprofit experts and wrote a book called So You Want to Start a Nonprofit Now What, that was published last month. And I am a nonprofit consultant.
Nice. Okay, so I want to dive right into that book. But first of all, tell people, how did you get started? Is this something that you wanted to do all your life, or was there a mission that made you want to get into working with the nonprofits and helping people like that?
It just sort of evolved organically. I was, volunteering on neighborhood boards and the summer swim place board, and then just joined local nonprofit boards and went from there.
Okay, well, I mean, it's a great thing, because we need people like you, right, to tell us, people who want to do a nonprofit that don't know anything about doing a nonprofit. We need someone that can coach us and tell us what we need. So this 501 guide is like the bomb. I'm thinking, wow, I really need to hurry up and get this book. So tell us a little bit about your book.
Well, it starts out helping people understand exactly what a nonprofit is and whether or not they should start one, if that's what they're thinking about doing. And then the middle section is all about how to set it up and run it to be successful. And then the rest of the last third is all about growing it and evolving and making it successful for the long run.
So you're talking from knowledge, because you mentioned that you had a lot of different companies that you worked with. And so how was that? How was it hard, or, was it easy for you, or how did that evolve?
I've been on boards they're all 501c3 nonprofits, and they're all so different. I list, I think, 10 or 15 of the different ones I've been involved with in my book. And it's always, you're always looking for funding. You're always looking for good board members and diversity. And they all have a similar story as to the day-to-day running of the nonprofit.
Wow. So even just finding board members, though, that like-minded, that has the same mission of whatever that project is, that's pretty hard too, isn't it?
It is. And a lot of times you'll find good board members because they're good on other boards and they're stretching themselves too thin, and they want to help, but after a while, if they're on 5 or 6 different boards, then they're not really going to be much help with your nonprofit.
So how do you go about it? Is this in your book, maybe, how to go about trying to find grants for your nonprofit?
Well, a lot of times grantors will only consider a nonprofit that's been in existence and has a bit of a track record, that maybe they've been in a nonprofit for a year or two, because it's hard to get grants for brand new nonprofits. But there are foundations who were set up maybe by wealthy families who have a mission to fund this particular type of nonprofit. And so they're out there looking for people that fill their mission at the same time you're looking for funding. So if you can find the right sources and make your case, a compelling case as to why your nonprofit deserves their funding, then you might find a good funding source.
So now in your guide, in your book, do you talk about that as well? Do you kind of help people who don't really know how to go after funding?
I suggest different funding sources, and there are websites and Google searches that will bring up funding sources in your area or even in the country, but that fund nationally. But you do have to do a little research to find them.
Right. So now, why should a person choose nonprofit over for-profit?
Well, that may not be the right choice. So you need to decide if you're wanting a nonprofit for the right reasons. It's a lot of work, and sometimes it can be more work than a for-profit organization. So you might rather join a board or committee of an existing nonprofit that does what you're hoping to accomplish and what you're passionate about. You might run your program under the umbrella of an existing nonprofit. Maybe you have a great idea for a program, but it's not quite enough to actually incorporate and apply for IRS 501c3 status and have to do all of your own operating expenses and all of that. Maybe you could just exist under someone else's umbrella that's already started it. You could start a for-profit company and give some of your profits to a cause that's near and dear to your heart. Or there's a thing called a B Corp, that just the letter B Corp, and it's not a type of corporation, it's a certification. And so things like Bombas socks, where for every pair of socks someone buys, they donate to someone in need. That's the B Corp model, where you're for profit, but you're also, have a nonprofit type mission on the other end of it.
Nice. So now what I'm hearing is very difficult. This is not something easy that you can just jump into. This is something that you really need a consultant on. Are you that person that I would need to try to call and say, hey, Michelle, this is what I need. Can you help me? I don't understand.
I am happy to help with those kinds of things. I have my 501guy.com website that's listed here. I can, consult with people, do a free consultation. Just call me and I can talk to you for 15 minutes and determine what it is that maybe I can help you do.
Okay. So who is your ideal customer?
Well, someone in an existing small nonprofit that maybe needs a little help just tweaking things to make it more successful and last for a long time, or someone who's considering starting a nonprofit and you're just not sure exactly what steps to do in what order, and I've done it a few times, so I can help you do it.
Nice. Well, Michelle, tell people how they can get in contact with you.
Again, just visit my website, 501guide.com, and you can find ways to contact me there.
And how can people get the book?
It is available on Amazon or Ingram Spark, and there's an e-version, a Kindle version, or a paperback version.
Wow. So the final question is words of wisdom. So if you can give someone some words of wisdom of doing what you do right now, what would you tell them?
I would say do everything in an open, honest, ethical manner, and you will find that you can be successful without having to hide things, sweep things under the rug that you're not so proud of. So do it in the ethical way first, and everything will go right.
Nice, nice. Well, I want to thank you, Ladybug, for being on the show. I have to order your book for sure, um, because I mean, I'm thinking at the end of the day, knowledge is power, right? And you did all the research. I mean, you talked to all these different nonprofits to get that information in that one booklet. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with purchasing the booklet. So, I want to thank you for sharing that. And I would love to invite you back. And so
I
we
would
can
love that.
continue to follow your journeys and seeing if we can help one another.
Thank you so much. It's been great to meet you.
You too. Well, stay in touch. We're on social media, so stay in touch.
Sounds great. Thank
All
you.
right. Until then, guys, tell everybody goodbye, Michelle.
Bye.
Bye.